Let's go. What is up, guys? It is the crew, the IWC World Wrestling Podcast crew. We finally got it ready to go. Cheryl's joining us now. Cheryl, say hi.
Hello.
She is filling in for Mark and Tomko. Ryan, the other co-host, we call him Jackass at work. How you doing today, Ryan?
Now.
Worse than what we call you.
We don't gonna get into that.
Yeah.
All right, we got some wrestling to talk about.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
fine.
our first episode of weekly episodes of IWC World Wrestling Podcast. I live streamed Battleground, but this is a show we're not just going to be talking about WWE. We're going to be talking about all of the brands, including New Japan if we get a chance to. We're not going to watch New Japan because we're not getting up at 3 o'clock in the freaking morning to watch New Japan, but we will talk about them. We're going to start with main event, Saturday Night Main Event. A lot had happened over the weekend, which includes a lot of botches. But Seth Rollins... Yeah, what were you saying, Ryan?
Good boy, did they?
Yeah, freaking, let me turn the mic up. So, yeah, I don't have this set up, do I? Hold on. Yeah, whatever. We'll make it work. So, we have Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has a new member. A returning member. We'll get into him. John Cena beats Ron Cena. R-Truth came out as John Cena in his own entrance and shit. Had John Cena almost dying laughing.
I was surprised he kept it professional and didn't start laughing.
R-Truth he's a natural treasure, man. But that wasn't also. They also had, what was the other one? Jey Uso beat Logan Paul, and then we got Cody Rhodes returning. So that's what happened on Saturday night. So let's get into that depth to depth. The first match, I believe, was the Seth Rollins match, right? The tag team match?
Yes.
So the tag team match, CM Punk and Sami Zayn came out wearing matching gears. We're not going to go in depth, like, play by play, but we will talk about how at the end of the match, Bronson Reed completely destroys CM Punk, reveals himself as the third member in this group. Which makes me think we're heading towards a War Games match, Ryan.
I say War Games or maybe the Survivor Series. It could go either way.
It could go either way, but I think it's War Games. I think we're getting Team Seth versus Team Roman. I think Roman will be back probably after SummerSlam, and he'll start building his team. Ryan, this is a good move. This is a great move, putting Bronson Reed with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. The guy had.
Yeah, it was a definite swerve after what he did to Seth.
Yeah.
Just a few months ago, getting suspended, basically becoming the new Muscle.
Yeah.
And I will say, if they go into the tag division, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, that's going to be a hell of a tag team to fight.
I don't think they're done recruiting, which is why we're going to get into later in the match. I think that'll be their fourth member for the War Games match. But yeah, this was not a Cheryl. You didn't get to see this because you were at your dad's. But Bronson Reed made his return on Saturday night, and he made a hell of a return.
Nice.
He looked even better last night, fucking with that, rocking that two-piece. With that gold chain. Looked like he was part of the mafia. Which we'll get into that. We'll get into the mafia part of NXT in our NXT review. But yeah, this was a good move for Bronson Reed. I think pairing him with Seth Rollins was perfect because he had such. It sucked that he got hurt in that War Games match because he was having such an amazing second half of 2024. So I'm happy that I'm happy they got him paired with Seth Rollins and he can finally do his thing here. Maybe even finally win a singles championship. But John Cena, like we said, John Cena faced R-Truth. I believe it was non-title.
It was non-title.
Cena won in 4 minutes. This is basically a throwaway match, but I just felt like they could have extended it. R-Truth could have won DQ and have them have a title match next pay-per-view, but I understand why they did this because of what happened later in the night. So R-Truth and that comes out as John Cena. He calls himself Ron Cena, and
Oh my god, I wish I'd
Full
seen that.
and everything.
yeah, he had a fucking
Full
the
on,
entrance, everything.
like old
Oh
school
my
Cena
god.
entrance. He had the gear. He had a personalized T-shirt made. It was
Oh man.
hilarious.
Oh, I wish I'd seen that. That would have been amazing.
John Cena
That
was
would have been.
he almost broke character. He almost broke character and started laughing.
He did. It was funny.
I'll bet.
uh,
I'll bet.
but
I love R-Truth. I really do.
But after the match, Cena ran into Jey Uso in the back, and he told Jey Uso, he kind of threatened Jey Uso, saying that it would suck. You
He
see,
did.
he
That
suck.
was a full-on threat.
Yeah, he said it would suck if, because when I
Straight up
retired,
told.
I'm taking the title with me, but you're about to lose to a social media star. So he basically threatened
A
Jey
YouTuber.
Uso. Yeah, a YouTuber. He basically threatened Jey Uso, and we would find out that threat later in the night. But the next match, I think, was what was the next match? Because I barely watched this because by the time I got home, it was like almost over. By the time we both got home, because we closed that night.
The U.S. title rematch.
U.S. title rematch. Was that
Zelina and Chelsea.
Yeah, there was a botch in that one too.
Zelina Vega and Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea had the meats.
Should we keep it? Should we keep it PG or
I think
let
we're gonna keep
fans
it PG.
know?
We're just gonna say she had the meats.
Let's just say Chelsea Green had a very big wardrobe malfunction, exposing below the belt.
Below the belt, yes.
Oof.
And we'll
So
keep it at that.
keep it at that. Ultimately, Selena Vega retained, so she's still the champion. Not a shocker. I mean, they're giving Selena Vega her. I just feel like I love Selena Vega, but I feel like this title has just become just as irrelevant as the women's tag team titles. I mean, the only title between the two mid card women's titles that feels
I
that
haven't seen anybody defend the women's tag titles in forever.
no, I don't think. I think they retired
Like,
them. I think
who are
they've.
even the women's tag team champions?
It's supposed to be Liv and Raquel.
Oh, yeah, living
Uh,
right now. That's right.
so it just feels like the women's U.S. title has just become irrelevant, and I could say the same thing for the women's Intercontinental, but ever since Lyra and Becky started this feud, that title feels more important. Which last night they were
Yeah,
officially
it does.
announced that Lyra has come into her own in this feud with Becky, and I love it. But I ultimately
Mhm.
think in our predictions next week.
She's really stepping out of Becky's shadow and becoming her own person.
Yeah, but I have a feeling she's gonna be dropping that title to Becky at Money in the Bank. Uh,
If
so
not Money in the Bank, maybe Evolution.
yeah, I think they have two more matches in them. I think definitely Evolution, if not at Money in the Bank. Or they could do this where Becky wins it at Money in the Bank and then Lyra wins it back at Evolution. I mean, to really put her over. But I have a feeling when Becky wins that title, she's gonna
Yeah,
hold on to that for a while because they're setting up a Bayley versus Becky feud down the road because she attacked Becky. Kayfabe attacked Becky. So
yeah.
so the main event was Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, and this was probably Logan Paul's first bad match. Logan Paul has had match after match, and they really haven't been that bad. He's been able to really look good in all of them except for this one. This one just felt like a filler match. It didn't feel like anything was on the line until Cena showed up. Cena showed up at the end. He was trying to cost Jey Uso. I think so Jey Uso hit the splash or the spear. I think it was either splash or spear, and the ref was starting to count, and
Hmm.
John Cena pulled the ref out of the ring, and then he started beating up Jey Uso. So, and then Cody Rhodes, there's only one. There's more than one royal family. Mr. Prince himself returns. Oh no, wait, actually no, we're missing a match. Actually. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest was before this. So that was the Steel Cage match. This is another match that felt like botch after botch, and it just felt like there was no need for this match. It was a great match. Just the
It felt like
ending.
it drug out too long because
Yeah.
it. I know Jesse Ventura was pissed that he found out that you could win from exiting the ring through the door.
Because before then, when he was calling back in the 80s,
Yeah, just going over the top, and that was it.
there was no cage. There was no cage door. It used to be
Yeah,
the old blue one. So it's understandable, but like this match was good. I think this match was still good. I did not like the ending. but I have a feeling that this
It
ending
was
was for two
to me, it
reasons.
was probably the match of the night.
If
Who?
not,
How did it end?
so what happened was Drew put a steel chair at the corner of the ring, and he was going to try to claim more Damian
Yeah.
Priest like he did at Mania. He missed,
Right.
Basically, was
and
sandwiched his
Oh,
head between
yeah, he
Drew's
missed.
foot and
So
Damien's
yeah,
gotcha.
so what happened
and the
was,
chair.
so Drew missed. Damian grabbed the chair, put the chair on Drew McIntyre's neck, and slammed down. And so
Gotcha.
Drew couldn't.
Like the old Undertaker
Yeah,
guillotine,
yeah. Kayfabe couldn't breathe. So
Yeah.
and then he concertoed him.
yeah. So he fell down. Drew McIntyre, kayfabe knocked out. Concerto. Damian looked very heelish at the end of that too. He looked very heelish at the end of it, which is
He
why
did.
I'm getting to this point. There's 2 points here. One, they did this because Drew was facing. He's got some injuries that he needs to take care of, so he's going to be gone for a little bit. Which honestly, he deserves it. I mean, he put the company on his back in 2024. Him and CM Punk alone carried WWE with that feud. So I'm fine with this, but I also do believe when Drew comes back, he will be a babyface because that's how the way they ended it. Drew was lifeless, and he got up and he got up on his own power in a sense where he pushed the referee, saying I could walk on my own power, which is kind of what a babyface usually does. So I have a feeling Damian Priest will be a heel, and this feud will
Good. I like him better as a heel.
He needs to be a heel. His babyface runs
I
have
like
been
him
bad.
so much better as a heel.
Well, like he was a good babyface when he was the world champion.
He was never really full babyface on the indies. He was always a villain.
Yeah.
He was always a heel, and it always worked out so well for him. Even when he was in Ring of Honor as Punishing Martinez,
exactly.
he was always the best heel wrestler that ROH ever had.
And the exact opposite could be said for Drew. I think Drew is a better face than he is a heel. But he was.
I don't know. His whole Chosen One gimmick when he first started.
Oh, that was awesome.
That heel gimmick was
awesome. But like it fizzled out because of his mom dying of cancer and the fact that he just couldn't get it going. Like after he lost the Intercontinental title, like that point, yes. And even on the Indies or TNA when he was part of that collision with I think it was Elijah Drake. Who else was it? Eli Drake. Someone else. But anyways, yeah. When he won the TNA World Championship.
EC3.
EC3, yeah. So he won the TNA
World
EC3
Championship. Yeah, EC3.
I think it was EC3.
Now LA Knight, Eli Drake.
Maybe it was James Storm too. Could have been James Storm as well.
Yeah.
But he was a heel around that time. But then when he won the world title, he was a babyface. Another exit where he was a babyface is the What Culture Pro Wrestling. When he won that title, he was a babyface. He was huge. And I just feel like Drew is able.
And about that time, he was feuding with Joe Hendry.
Exactly.
And Joe Hendry pissed him off big time.
Yeah, that was Joe Hendry's
but
peak.
He still loves Joe so much.
That was Joe Hendry's peak.
That's when he was the Prestige.
Yeah, he was the Prestige, and that's why one of the. I think they're still. They didn't get it released, right? They're still with the WWE, right?
No. Gallus was part of the recent releases.
Oh, were they? That sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think if they would have really wanted to, they could have paired Gallus with Drew McIntyre. But like I said,
that would have been interesting.
Drew, he works both ways. I just feel like he's better a babyface because he's able to be more like himself. This last heel run, he made it work because he was able to do shit on Twitter. I mean, the highlight of this heel run was him fucking texting in the Seth Rollins match.
Bored at work.
Yeah. Part of my problem though with the heel run is sometimes he came across as a whiner, and I just didn't like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was probably his biggest fault as the heel, is he's a whiner. But I also feel like they could have kept this going if they kept on path and had Roman and Drew be the match at Mania, which it should have been. I love.
Now that would have been.
Well,
yeah.
They teased it. They teased it when he went. He said he was going after all the Bloodline members. He took out Sami Zayn. He took out Jey Uso. But then he stopped. He stopped doing that. After that, it made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
He should have eliminated Roman at the Rumble. He should have freaking cost Jey the world title and some he should have been hunting. But now you just got to reset him, have him come back as a babyface. Get him off that stupid gimmick. Like, I'm glad they finally got him away from that stupid Claymore. That was so terrible. That's what really ruined him back during the pandemic era, is that freaking Vince made him into a stereotypical fucking Scottish person with a Claymore. It's like, that's not why.
I just read something on Facebook right before we started the stream.
Yeah.
Vince wants to try to buy it back.
I know. I don't think they will. I don't think he will. I saw that Vince is hoping that TKO tanks, that he can buy it back. I just don't think that's going to happen. Vince McMahon is he is at the end of his road, and it's time to give up, man. WWE, I mean, yes, and I said this last night, to piggyback off of JD from New York, one of my favorite wrestling content YouTubers. Both companies right now, AEW and WWE, are cooled off. Like, WWE was hot, but they're not anymore. Like, these last few PLEs just haven't been good, except for even Battleground Sunday night. It was okay.
AEW's the same way. Like, yeah, Double or Nothing, there was some great moments.
Yeah,
but
no storytelling.
It doesn't live the hype like it used to. Yeah, this is their 5th year of being around. COVID really hurt them.
It did.
And they were just limping along.
Yeah, and the fact that Tony Khan...
And I feel like the same is... I feel like it's the same for WWE. COVID hurt the wrestling business as a whole.
Yeah, it did.
And they are just limping along.
Yeah, but I felt like once Triple H took over, WWE was able to get really hot. Like the last year and a half, WWE was on fire. They were making PLEs after PLEs that were awesome. But like then eventually just cooled off, and then WrestleMania happened, and then John Cena and Cody Rhodes and the Travis Scott bullshit in the main event. That is where I think the turning point has been for WWE, where they just haven't been able to recover. But I'm hoping come SummerSlam, between Cody versus Cena, they can reignite that fire. Because they have a lot of guys now they just recently signed coming over, which we're going to talk about the potential that Joe Hendry will be in a WWE contract by the end of this year, which is why they made this move.
And then we also got that merger with AAA.
AAA as well.
We have people like Vikingo. Vikingo is an amazing wrestler.
He's facing Chad Gable. Next
week.
Next
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Not this coming weekend, the following weekend. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have our belt for that, so we can put that on the line. But if we don't, we don't. It'll be the next PLE, which will probably be the Saturday Night Live. No, Night of Champions. Night of Champions will definitely have the belt on the line. So that is Saturday Night Main Event. Cody Rhodes returns. We're getting set up for a Money in the Bank tag team match.
Cody and Jay versus
I think it's going to be
John Cena and Logan Paul.
I think it's going to be a 6-man tag match. Because there's talks.
Who do you think the other two will be?
The other two, Travis Scott, because they've been teasing that he's going to have his presence is going to be very known at Money in the Bank. It's going to be heavy. And for Cody and Jay, Jimmy Uso. You got Cody, Jimmy, Jay versus...
Or even Sammy.
Or Sammy, yeah. But I think Sammy right now is in more of a feud with Seth Rollins, which will eventually lead to his heel turn, and he'll end up joining Seth's team. He'll be the last member to join the War Games. Because I have a feeling...
And I do want to call back to something you said earlier about the matching gear between Sammy and CM Punk. They were actually both repping gear in honor of Palestine. They were both repping Palestine flag in style gear, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
because of Sami Zayn being of Palestinian descent.
Oh, he is?
It was great to see CM Punk honoring it.
I don't think I knew that either.
Well, I know he's Jewish. I know he was Jewish.
That's why whenever he goes to Saudi, he loves to go over there.
That's funny that he's Jewish and of Palestinian descent, because most Palestinians want nothing to do with the Jews. That's why they're all up against Israel.
Yeah, that's why he loves when they go over to Saudi, because that's where his family's from.
I don't think he's Jewish. I thought he was Jewish. I could have sworn he was Jewish.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people from wrestlers that are from India.
Yeah.
That are of Arabic descent.
Yeah.
That are of Arabic descent that live in Canada. Like you have Sami Zayn and the Bollywood Boys. The Bollywood Boys are also from Canada.
Yeah. I think he is Jewish.
He is not Jewish.
No? Okay.
He is a Muslim of Syrian descent.
Oh, he's Muslim. That's right. He is Muslim.
His real name is Rami Sebai. He was born in Canada to Syrian parents.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, we're probably heading towards a 6-man tag match. That's probably going to main event Money in the Bank, which we will get into next week's predictions for next week when we predict who we think is going to win, the women's and the men's. I have a very good feeling that the women is going to be Roxanne Perez. I think they're going to put the boots to her and strap them. They're going to do what they did with Tiffany Stratton with Roxanne. They're going to give her the Money in the Bank, and I think she'll cash it in, but probably not until later on in the year, kind of like Tiffany did. She just did it on a random SmackDown, which that place went nuts when she finally did it.
I loved that. That was fantastic because she took out Nia Jax.
But the fact that we're getting Julia and Roxanne Perez in the Money in the Bank this year is crazy. Like, Julia just joined the company last year, like around this time last year. Around this time last year. But she didn't debut until September. So it's crazy.
Right. And Roxanne
she's not even, just like 6 months in.
Yeah, Roxanne's only 24.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand her attitude, but she is phenomenal to watch.
She's so much better.
You gotta respect the talent.
Coming from an indie wrestler's standpoint, this girl has had a wonderful career. I've watched her from the beginning. She started wrestling
she's incredibly talented.
That's why
she literally started wrestling in RAW, which is Booker T's wrestling company, at the age of 16. So she's been wrestling
her and Cora
almost
Jade.
10 years now.
Her and Cora Jade.
Yeah, no, she's an incredible wrestler. I love watching her. I just can't stand her attitude.
I feel bad for Cora Jade. I just felt bad for Cora Jade because she just couldn't.
Yeah.
She has so much potential, and I feel like if she's going to AEW, I think Cora Jade will thrive in AEW. But people just have to be patient. But all right, let's get into the NXT segment, and then we'll get into AEW for Double or Nothing. Because we have our two finalists, our two winners of the Owen Hart tournament. So Cheryl, the Owen Hart tournament's kind of like AEW's version of the Royal Rumble. So they have like a tournament, and the winner of that tournament goes on.
It's not really like a Royal Rumble.
No, it's not. But it's
kind of like it's kind of like the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, kind of like Money in the Bank.
Okay.
So AEW
or. Actually, no. We'll say more like King of the Ring.
Yeah, AEW it used to be All Out.
It's more like King of the Ring.
Yeah, more like King of the Ring. Well, not really, because until last year, King of the Ring didn't really mean anything. It just meant you were the King of the Ring. Like last year, they made it very important where you get a title shot. I think it's more Money in the Bank. I think.
Yeah, but that's what I'm.
Bank. But anyways, their main pay-per-view or their WrestleMania of the year is called All In, and it's going to be in I think Houston this year. Is it Houston? No, Arlington. Yes. I think it's Arlington. It's where the Rangers play, the Global Life Field.
Texas.
So we'll get into that when we talk about that. So this is more AEW, but let's get into NXT Battleground happened Sunday night. A lot of very good matches. I mean, that first match was between Sol Ruca and Kalani Jordan was awesome. Sol Ruca has come a long way. I am so happy for her that she's holding that belt. But I have a feeling I know we're heading towards the end goal for this is Zarya versus Sol Ruca for the women's NXT champ and women's North American championship, which I think Zarya will win. But that ending was that vicious headbutt from Sol Ruca, dude. That was so mad. That was ugly.
I will say from my point of view, Tyler Bate is the luckiest man alive to have that woman wrapped around his finger.
That's right. They're married, right?
No, they're engaged.
Oh, they're engaged. They're gonna get married. They're getting married, but yeah, it's just she's done such a good job.
Tyler Bate and Sol Ruca engaged.
She's also young too, I think, right? She's like in her 20s. She's 25.
Yeah.
So a lot of these young stars are really taking a fold. But yeah, this was a great opener to the match. The very next one, not so much. Like you said in Discord, and I kind of mentioned it at the review. on after the pay-per-view, the PLE. It was Hank Tank Briggs versus his former teammate Brooke Jensen, uh, Sean Spears, and I don't know the other guy. You know him, Ryan. The calling.
Something Vance.
Yeah, the calling.
The Culling
Yeah, the
is their
calling.
full name.
It's basically Sean Spears' version of the Tony D'Angelo family, which is what actually that feud started it up. It was he wanted to copy, which we'll get into the D'Angelo family in a little bit. But yeah, this match was botch after botch. But then the return of Igamura, which I think this guy needs to get the boot
But
strapped
I
to
will
him.
say, the ending was botched.
Yeah.
The the ending was botched, but the match itself was really
Oh,
good.
it was
Seeing Hank Ledger or no, Hank Walker get careened off that
yeah,
post
yeah.
was so brutal.
It was vicious, but I will say it had a happy moment though at the end with like I said, Ignora return with and him and Josh Briggs. But like I said, this guy needs to have the boot strapped to him, and he
Yeah,
needs to be in the main event title picture. I think him and Oba would have a hell of a match, which we'll get into Oba in a little bit because I think the next match was Stephanie versus Jordan Grace. But yeah, this match ended with Briggs with Ignora returning and Briggs, Hank and Tank winning, getting the victory. So it ended with all four with their hands raised. I think this is eventually going to lead to a tag team match
but
between those two
the ending
teams.
of this match, everybody did. The ending of this match did end very.
Bocce.
It had a big botch in it because they all came in the ring. They all hit like a triple team finisher.
Yeah.
Hank Walker was the legal man who tagged in, yet Tank Ledger was the one that got the pin count. That shouldn't have happened. He was the illegal man.
Yeah, so I didn't really pay attention. This match is when I was doing my homework for school. So I didn't really see the ending to it. I just noticed that Ignora returned, and then that was the big. He showed up in the crowd, and I think he attacked. I think either Jensen or Spears, but yeah, this ending it was a botch. But like I said, overall the match was great. I just feel like this was a downgrade to Stand and Deliver. Stand and Deliver had three of the matches that stood out from Stand and Deliver: Hank and Tank versus Fraxium. Uh, you have the Fatal Four Way, the women's: Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Stephanie Valkyrie. Or I think it was Jordan Grace, Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Stephanie Valkyrie. Which Stephanie Valkyrie and Jordan Grace had another great match. So, and then obviously the match of the night at Stand and Deliver was that triple threat main event between Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Oba Femi. And oh my God, Oba Femi's only 26 years old, and he looks like he's been wrestling for years. So
Oba Femi's only 26.
he's only 26. Well, he's
Yeah,
27. He just turned 27 a few months ago.
he looks
Dang.
like he's in his late 30s.
Yeah, he looks like he's been wrestling.
I was gonna say he looks much older, but
he looks like he's been wrestling for a while, but he's only 27 years old. So that was probably the match. That's probably arguably going to be a match of the year candidate. But Oba and Miles Bourne still had a great match to this battleground. But we have all right. So next one we have is Stephanie Valkyrie versus Jordan Grace, and this one was arguably one of the best, part of the best matches of the night. Stephanie and Jordan tore the house down. Jordan Grace will be the NXT Women's Champion. I just don't think she's ready yet. I think Stephanie needs to hold that belt for a little longer. I think Stephanie will be going to the main roster by the end of this year. I just don't think she's ready to drop that title yet. I think she has so many more feuds she can do outside of Jordan Grace. I mean, they already teased her feud for AAA. For the Worlds Collide, she's going to be fighting the two AAA women, the top women in AAA. So I'm sure there's probably going to either be a tag team match. It's probably going to be her and Jordan Grace versus those two. So I'm looking forward to that. Stephanie Valkyrie I think she made the right choice going to WWE than going to AEW. I feel like she has been able to make herself into a superstar in NXT. and it's gonna do wonders for her when she comes to the main roster. Just like Obafemi, I think Stephanie's gonna be a world champion within the year that she debuts in the main roster. She's just that damn good. Her and Julia are that damn good. Julia, if she can stay healthy, she's probably arguably one of the best women wrestlers in the world. Her style is just makes it hard to stay healthy because she's more of a hardcore style. But Ryan, what'd you say, Ryan?
That's why they call Julia Beautiful Madness.
Yeah, she's just her headbutts after headbutts. But anyway, Stephanie retains in this match on an amazing. What was it? The move that she did? Because I couldn't remember on Sunday. I think I called it the Black Arrow, but I don't think that's what it's called. It was.
What?
It was like she jumped and she made like a flip and then she did like a twist in the air, and it was like a brutal end, like a brutal.
Oh, it's the spiral tap.
Spiral tap.
Oh, the spiral tap.
Spiral tap. Yeah.
It's actually one of AJ Styles' original finishers.
Is it? I didn't even know that. But yeah, so she hit that. After I gotta say right now, Booker T has made this gimmick. Watching Stephanie Vickers match is even better because the fact that he goes so hard when she does her booty of death move.
Booty of death. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
The Devil's Kiss.
Yeah, she calls it the Devil's Kiss.
Oh, the Devil's Kiss.
Yeah, the Devil's Kiss.
Oh my god.
And he goes. It's the same thing with Trick Williams. He did the same thing with Roxanne Perez. He does the same thing with Trick. Like without Booker T, I just don't think.
Well, the only reason he did with Roxy is because
he trained her.
She was his student.
Yeah, but Trick Williams, like his gimmick, relies on Booker T with the entrance. Like, whoop that trick, all right. Whoop that trick, So this match, like I said, ended with that amazing top rope move by Stephanie. Jordan Graves falls short. She will get another shot, I think, later. I think she will be the one that takes that title off of Stephanie. I just don't think it's the right time right now. Let's get into the next match, which is the men's NXT Championship, which Thomas, one of our co-workers at work, told me that Oba's ready.
Sorry, I'm watching the...
The what?
Oh, that. I know. I thought I knew it. I was just looking at the Devil's Kiss to make sure was what I was thinking it was.
That's the booty when she grabs him. Like
she grabs with her knees and yeah.
No, but anyways, Thomas told me, Ryan, that he thinks Oba's ready for the main roster. I said no, Oba's not ready. I mean, he is. He will be. He is ready. I'm just saying, I don't think he's ready to drop that title yet. I think they need to give him a longer run.
No.
Which I
have a feeling once he goes to the main roster, he's just going to get hidden in the mix, like what happened with Mello.
Yeah, but I have a feeling though, like he's gonna be different though, because they're gonna treat him more of like a monster, and he's like I said, he's gonna have the boot strapped to him. Whereas Mello, I think.
When you say the boot strapped to him, what does that mean?
Meaning they get the push, they get a mega push, like instantly joining the main roster.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's what we call in the IWC community, get the boot strapped to them, so they instantly from one of our favorite wrestlers to the moon. I love Cameron.
He stole that from Jackie Gleason, but
that's Cameron Grimes.
I know, but he stole that line from Jackie Gleason in the Hunt.
Nothing to take away from Miles Bourne. I didn't think this match was going to be anything, but he made this match impressive with him and Oba. This wasn't stand and deliver, but this was still a great match between him and Miles. Miles Bourne is going to be a superstar in the future. But this kind of, because of what Charlie Dempsey said early in the night, this kind of makes me think that we're heading to a collision course between Charlie Dempsey and Oba Femi, which I'm all for. I am all for.
I'll give this to Miles Bourne for being the only wrestler in WWE history to be deaf.
Yeah.
This boy is super talented.
He is.
That's awesome.
And I think that was it the Quarter Catch Crew?
Quarter Catch Crew.
Yeah, they need to win the tag team titles.
And hell, the man's dating Stephanie McCare.
I know, fucking lucky bastard. Hey, he lost Sunday night, but he was still a winner.
Yep.
You got to go home to Stephanie. So yeah, the highlight of this match was arguably the freaking off the top rope onto Obafemi. It was awesome. But Obafemi ultimately would retain, which is not a shocker. I mean, Oba's not losing that title anytime soon. But like I said, I have a feeling what's going to happen now is Oba's going to feud with that kid that came from LFG, and then he'll get his feud with Charlie Dempsey. And I would not be shocked if Charlie Dempsey beats him for that title. Jasper Track, right? Jasper Tracks, right?
I can't remember his last.
Thomas was talking.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name right off.
I think he'll feud.
Yeah.
But Thomas is like, I think Jasper's going to win. I don't think Jasper will look good in defeat. I just don't think he's going to win the title off the bat. But I think, like I said, the ultimate goal here is probably going to be, well, obviously, Oba's going to be fighting the winner of the AAA championship. Because I think Alberto Albatron is defending it this week, right? So I think if he loses, whoever holds that title going into Worlds Collide in 2 weeks will be facing Obafemi, probably in the co-main event, because I think Stephanie Vacquier will be the main event. I can't wait for that Worlds Collide. It's going to be so good. But like I said, I have a feeling Charlie Dempsey is going to be Obafemi's real next opponent outside, because Oba's going to fight the AAA guy. He'll probably face Jasper at Heatwave, but I think at No Mercy, we're going to get Charlie Dempsey versus Obafemi, and I will not be shocked if Charlie Dempsey wins that title. Because I think Charlie Dempsey
I'd love to see it.
They need to start, like, he's another guy they got to strap the boots. Put the rocket to the boots. And,
give Charlie Dempsey something that his father never won, which is a world title.
Exactly. So, I like I said, but let's get into the main event. Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, TNA World Championship. Yeah, Ryan, what the fuck?
What?
I didn't think they were going to change this. I thought this was a shoe-in win for Joe Hendry. I really did, but
Same.
Trick Williams wins the title. People are screaming, still think WWE's not getting the benefit from this? You realize TNA benefits this more than WWE. Trick Williams won a TNA championship. Now Trick Williams gets to be on TNA every week. That's more viewership for TNA.
This reminds me a lot. You know how they always say history repeats itself?
Yeah.
This reminds me back when Kenny Omega won it.
Yeah, it does. But I ultimately don't think this is going to last long. Trick Williams will drop the title. I have a feeling we know who's going to win the title next, because they teased him early on in the night. Who is Santana facing?
Mike Santana.
Mike Santana's he's facing someone tonight, right?
The one black kid from No Quarter Catch Crew.
Yeah, because that's what they teased Charlie Dempsey with that and stuff. So he's facing the Tavon Heights.
Tavion Heights, yeah.
Tavion Heights. So that's going to be tonight. I'm looking forward to that. Mike Santana is another guy that it's going to be a WWE superstar in the next coming years. He is a guy that's been under the radar. Him and Ortiz, right?
Ortiz.
Or I don't know what Ortiz been up to, but I know Mike Santana returned to TNA.
I think he's still under contract with AEW, but he's working backstage.
Yeah.
As like a producer now.
So Santana was always the better of the two, and this is even back when he was still in TNA, when he debuted in TNA as under the new LAX. So, or the young LAX. So Santana will be probably the next TNA champion. I have a feeling he'll probably win it. I mean, I would do Trick Williams versus Santana at Worlds Collide, and have Santana win the title. So, because he's got Latino descent. He's Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican from the Bronx. I'd love to see him and Damien at least once.
Santana, like I said, he is a future WWE star. Joe Hendry is obviously on his way to WWE. This is one of the bigger reasons why he dropped the title, because TNA doesn't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to resign. I think his contract ends in December. Joe Hendry is also hurt, so he's going to be going off to rest and heal up, which I think he deserves it. Joe Hendry's been one of the bigger stars for TNA this past 2 years. And when he finally won that TNA World Championship, it was such a heart. It was kind of like when Cody Rhodes won the WWE Championship in WrestleMania 40. So Joe Hendry loses here, but it was a botch. It was a botch. So I do think we're going to get a rematch between Trick Williams.
The referee definitely played favorites that night.
So what happened was at the end of this match was Trick Williams hit the trick shot. Joe Hendry kicked out. Trick Williams got pissed off. So Trick Williams grabbed the belt.
Went out, got the title.
Yeah, grabbed the title, and he was going to hit
Brought
Joe
it in.
Hendry.
Ref snatched it.
Yeah. And then Joe Hendry went for the standing ovation. Trick got him in the eyes. Trick then hit a freaking reverse. I don't know what it was.
With a flapjack.
Yeah,
right onto the title.
Belt, and then
which the ref should have thrown out of the ring.
Yeah. Or it should have been DQ'd. It should have been DQ'd. And then Trick Williams hit the trick shot, and he won 1-2-3, won the championship. So TNA, and then Ryan showed me something earlier that all the TNA stars, WWE stars that won the TNA World Championship, you have Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth, and now Trick Williams. So 5 stars that won the TNA Championship and NXT title. Moose is probably going to be joining there too as well, because I think Moose is another guy that's on his way to WWE. I don't
know. I have a feeling
he might retire.
If Moose can stay healthy, yeah, I think he might retire. He's getting up there in age.
I think
he had his moment. 40s.
He had his moment with Obafemi. That's the one I think that they were building up to. They had that amazing match between him and Oba.
Yeah.
So I think that was his time in TNA. So, but that was NXT. That was NXT Battleground. Ryan got almost everyone wrong except for 2. So good thing.
We didn't talk about the Tony D versus Stacks.
Oh yeah, shit, the Tony D versus Stacks. Yes. So this one. Well, I'm not.
That was a good back and forth match.
It was a good match. It was a great match. I feel like the right winner.
And then we had the return of Luca Crucifino, which shocked everybody because everybody thought he was buried dead on the Vegas desert.
And I have a feeling he is.
He pretty much cost Tony the match.
He basically he didn't even do anything. He just cost Tony the match because he showed up. I have a feeling if this is going to be a red herring. I don't think he's going to turn on Tony. I think this is a red herring to make him look like he turned on Tony. And eventually it'll...
Yeah, because at the end of the match, he tried to hug Tony, and Tony shoved him off.
Yeah, so I think this is a red herring, and I think ultimately it's going to lead to Stacks thinking that Luca is part of them, and the next match that they fight each other, Luca's going to cost Stacks. So this was the right winner won this match. Stacks needed to win this match over Tony because they're trying to push Stacks as a single star now, and this is a good win for Stacks.
And we still don't know where Rizzo is, and she could be the final nail in this entire feud.
Yeah, I think Riz is gonna. I think if I don't think Luca's gonna turn on Tony, I think Riz is gonna be the one that turns because Riz is the one that's the swerve. That's the one you think that's never going to turn on Tony. She's going to end up turning on Tony. So, but yeah, that was NXT Battleground. I'm glad you brought that up. I totally forgot about that match. But yeah, it was a B. I gave it a B. And I still stand it today. I still give it a B. I think it was a good pay-per-view or a PLE. Fucking hate that they changed that now. But we got Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing happened the same night. A lot happened in Double or Nothing.
Nothing. All right. First match of the night, out of the gate, we had Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter in the women's final.
They
for the Owen Hart Cup.
They buried the women's division to finally give us Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm. That's all I'm gonna say. They buried the women's division just to give us Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné.
Yep.
Jamie Hayter should have won this match. I think Jamie Hayter deserves another shot at the
Jamie Hayter is a hell of a better fighter than Mercedes ever is.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think
Mercedes is also...
And Cheryl?
Yes?
Mercedes Moné is Sasha Banks.
Okay.
So she is the former WWE female wrestler Sasha Banks. That's her real name. Mercedes is her real name.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this just felt like these two like the Owen Hart match between was it Will Ospreay and uh,
Will Ospreay
Adam
and
Page.
Adam Page.
That was a better match. I felt like
That was a barn burner. That by far was the match of the night.
that was the smarter
It was an
choice.
awesome finale.
Yes.
It was the main event of the show,
Yes.
and we had both Mercedes Moné and Hangman Adam Page coming out on top.
Yeah.
So both of them get number one contender matches towards the
At All In,
respective
which
world
it
titles.
kind of makes sense for Adam Page, because uh, where they're going to All In this year
Why?
because of his gimmick, cowboy. He's the cowboy, so I mean
So
they're going to
Adam
Texas.
Page is for Virginia.
I know, but I'm saying his gimmick wise, it makes sense because they're gonna go all in Texas, and he's a cowboy. He's the cowboy. You know, Texas is infamous for cowboys,
Yeah, I know.
so that's why it kind of makes sense for them to give him. But Adam Page deserved this. They've been pushing Adam Page for a while. I think we're eventually Adam Page will beat John Moxley for the title at All In, and I think we're ultimately getting set up for possibly a Swerve versus Adam Page rematch down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's ultimately the goal. I think next year the ultimate goal is getting Will Ospreay that AEW championship at All In when they go back to Wembley next year. So,
Yeah.
but AEW also had a lot of costumes, a lot of great entrances. I mean, Kenny Omega came out to let the bodies hit the floor.
No, that was Mark Briscoe that
Was
did.
it? I thought it was Drowning. I thought it was.
It was Mark Briscoe.
Then what did Kenny Omega come out to?
No. He came out dressed as Seth Roth because of the new Final Fantasy Magic set
Did
coming
he?
out next week.
I could have sworn it was Kenny
So he
Omega.
came out to Seth Roth's theme from Final Fantasy.
Okay. So
But the next match of the night, we had FTR
yeah.
beating Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness due to referee stoppage. That match was brutal. FTR demolished them. Nigel McGuinness is a Ring of Honor legend.
He
The man deserves a lot of respect.
he was
but
also NXT UK commentator.
he was an NXT commentator. He was also a former Impact wrestler with the name of Desmond Wolfe. And he had to retire due to hepatitis.
Yeah.
And he's finally gotten it under control to where
Yeah.
he can't pass it anymore. So
Yeah.
he's trying to get back into the ring.
Yeah.
But due to his age, he is not the same man he used to be.
No. So, like you
FTR
said,
destroyed him.
FTR destroyed them. The next match. So, like you
We
said,
had Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe in a stretcher match.
that was a brutal match. I mean, I saw the images for like Briscoe and his bloody mess. He was a bloody mess at the end of that match.
Yeah.
I believe Ricochet won, right?
Ricochet won. It was a very bloody mess. And you could tell Mark Briscoe was going full out. He hit a lot of spots. And after all these different spots, he would point to the air in honor of Sabu.
Yeah,
He dedicated that entire match to Sabu.
I think he also came out with his brother's gear, which was pretty cool.
And coming out to Bodies, which was one of the ECW theme songs, was just icing on the cake.
So Cheryl, the Briscoe brothers, the one brother died. I think was it last year or 2 years ago?
It's been about 3 years now.
His older brother.
He died in a massive car accident.
So
it almost killed his Jay Briscoe.
Yeah.
Died in a massive car accident about 3 years ago. It almost killed
his kids.
His daughters.
Yeah.
As well. Ooh. And they both had to literally learn how to walk again.
Yeah.
Wow. And now he's back wrestling. That's wow.
No, his brother is the one who is wrestling still. They were former multi-time world tag team champions.
Oh wow! I knew the name sounded familiar.
Yeah.
They were Ring of Honor, TNA, NWA, all over the world, New Japan, Mexico, and they held titles all over the world. And
yeah, the name's familiar. I've heard the name.
When Jay Briscoe died, it was almost like the plane crash that killed Buddy Holly. It was literally the day the
Ooh.
wrestling world stood still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because
and
everybody,
yeah,
it affected everybody.
this was a great
Even
match.
WWE,
Yeah,
even WWE made announcements about it.
yeah.
And it was
So
the same
Yeah.
with when Brody Lee died.
yeah, Brody Lee
Brody Lee
is Luke
wasn't even under
Harper.
contract with AEW anymore or with WWE anymore. And AEW
Hmm.
and WWE, they
Well,
all still
Bro-
made comments about it.
Brody Lee had such an impact for WWE though. That's a big reason why
Yeah.
they stopped. Plus he had a bunch of his friends were still in WWE like Bray Wyatt, uh,
Hmm.
Braun Strowman, and Eric Rowan, which I don't even know what Eric Rowan's doing these days. But anyways,
He's wrestling in Europe now.
or is
He's
it?
doing a lot of stuff over in
Yeah.
Europe.
Okay. So AEW
Next match, we had the Hurt Syndicate
the tag teams,
versus
the
the
Sons
Sons
of
of Texas,
Texas.
which is Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. That
Yeah.
match was kind of one sided.
You felt like it's gonna be one sided because they just added MJF. They're more likely going to be
Yeah,
adding Cedric Alexander very soon. I mean, Cedric Alexander, I think his 90 days are up. So now he can,
I think they've been up since
yeah.
February.
So I think he will eventually join. I think he's taking time off right now, but I think ultimately when the Hurt Syndicate turns on MJF, it will be because Cedric Alexander shows up. And I would not be shocking if his debut is them beating the shit out of MJF and Cedric Alexander is the one that or they show up and say that MJF has been using them, or you know how MJF does. He always turns on people.
Yeah,
So I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Is Cedric Alexander is going to be the one that exposes MJF, and they just beat the shit out of him. Because I think MJF was going to be the AEW World Champion again very soon. I just don't. He's still too young too, and I still think he's better off in WWE. But he's not. He's just right now. He's still under contract for I think 3 more years. Another guy I think
yeah,
needs
he just signed an extension.
Another guy I think needs to go to the WWE is freaking Jay White. Jay White needs to get the hell out of AEW. They've done nothing but hurt his. He was so over like what 3 years ago when he was a free agent.
Yep.
So he would do wonders in a WWE. He would be freaking. It would be great for him. I mean, he could feud with AJ Styles. He can feud with Finn Balor. Have like a Bullet Club reunion, like three of the four Bullet Club leaders. Shit, even Cody Rhodes. So the
Yeah,
next
Cody
match,
Rhodes. There's four leaders right there.
yeah, Cody. That's because I forgot Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega had that little civil war before. Now there's talks that David Finlay might be heading to WWE because his contract's coming to an end too. David Finlay is.
Another.
Go on.
Yeah, it's Finley's son,
Finlay's son,
oldest son.
and he is the
It's his
current
youngest
leader.
son's already under contract
Yeah, his
with WWE.
his current son. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. That his brother might bring him over. He is the current leader. So Cheryl, the Bullet Club is a big faction over in New Japan, which debuted back in 2012.
I say, yeah, about
Okay.
2012,
Because Finn Balor,
and they're basically like a modern version of
NWA,
the NWO.
NWO, yeah. And
Okay.
so Finn Balor, it was Finn Balor, Bad Fale, and Tomotonga.
Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson. It was Anderson first. Then Gallows joined when AJ Styles was the leader. So that the original four members were Finn Balor, Tomotonga,
Bad Luck Fale.
Bad Fale, and then
Bad Luck Fale.
yeah, Bad Luck Fale, and then Carl Anderson. Then eventually the Young Bucks joined. The Young Bucks are the ones that turned on Finn Balor because what happened was Finn Balor or Prince Devitt signed with WWE, so they had a segment where he was fighting the junior heavyweight champion, and he wanted to win, going clean. He wanted to do it his terms, so they got pissed off and
Yep.
they super kicked him. And then like I think a month later, AJ Styles showed up from ROH and became the new leader. Then it's a huge backstory. It's all like the Bullet Club has been one of the bigger factions, which the Bullet Club actually
Wrestling
created.
today.
They're still wrestling today, and they created AEW because the original members of the Bullet Club are part of what
Young Bucks,
created
Kenny
AEW.
Omega.
Yeah, I still think Marty Scurll deserves a
And
second
I will
chance.
another thing from this tag team match between Hurt Syndicate and Sons of Texas. I will say Dustin Rhodes, man who's in his mid 50s, still wrestling,
Yeah,
entering
Dustin
his
Rhodes.
30th year of wrestling. They always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but this man in mid 50s still finding a way to do some of the
Yeah,
outsane, like new wrestling moves.
100%.
This man needs to go in the Hall of Fame.
I hope to God that he signs with WWE his last, like when he does a retirement run, he signs with WWE and him and Cody can tag one last time. Uh,
One last time.
Cheryl, that's Cody's oldest brother. That's
Gotcha.
Cody's older brother. Yeah, Dustin.
Next match, we had the Continental title match between Okada and Mike Bailey. This
Speedball
match was
Mike Bailey.
really good too. Mike Bailey is a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah.
This man wrestles barefoot. He has multiple degrees across multiple different disciplines of martial arts, and his feet are like lightning. But he just could not overcome Okada.
I think this is also a tease towards, because we're obviously getting Okada versus Omega probably at All In.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not shocking that Speedball lost. Like I said, AEW's biggest problem right now is they can't create storyline, but the wrestling is the wrestling is awesome. Like they put out some good pay per views, they just don't have
It's
story.
not that they can't create storylines. It's just their roster's so huge. In fact, with so much talent, they don't know how to use it.
Tony Khan he needs to hire some writers. Like he's doing it all himself.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the next
And then we
match,
have
Tony
the
Storm
women's
versus
world
Mina,
title match.
which again,
Mina Shirakawa.
bearing another women
That
talent.
match. That match was. I wouldn't call it a spectacle. I wouldn't call it a barn burner. It
Yeah.
was just a match. It literally looked like a lesbian fuck fest. And I know we wanted to keep it PG, but that's what it looked like.
Oh my god. Oh, there
Like
goes
literally,
PG
they
out the
paused
It
the
took
door.
a
match
second
just
for
to
that
make
to
out in the middle of
register in
it.
my head. What the
There goes the PG
They literally
out the
stopped the
door.
match
Oh
just to
my
make out in the
lord.
middle of it.
Yeah, they did make out. Like I did see that. So, but ultimately, Tony Storm wins. We're getting Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné. Finally, they've been teasing that for a while.
At All In.
I still think this
And
was.
then we have Anarchy in the Arena, Kenny
Yeah,
Omega, Swerve, and the Ops, which is Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, Samoa Joe, and Willow Nightingale
yeah.
versus the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta, and the Young Bucks.
John Moxley and Claudia
That match,
are Dean Ambrose and Cesaro from WWE.
that match was brutal.
Yeah,
And like you were saying earlier about people coming out in outrageous outfits,
yeah.
Swerve
This
came
was
out
it.
dressed as the Predator.
Yeah,
That that gear was amazing. And uh, the Young Bucks came out dressed as freaking Ben Franklin as
yeah,
like founding fathers.
yeah.
That was so dumb because they wore the coats with tails through the entire match. They were probably sweating balls and so uncomfortable.
I saw a couple of the images and like it was crazy. But anyways, leading to the next match, we got the Paragon, which is Adam Cole. It's undisputed.
Kyle
AEW
O'Reilly,
undisputed. Kyle
Ryder
Riley and Roderick
Strong
Strong.
versus the Don Callis family,
This
Josh
was like a
Alexander,
last. Josh Alexander's part of that
Takeshita,
family.
yeah,
I
and
didn't
Kyle
know that.
Fletcher.
Yeah,
And the Don Callis family came out on top. That was more of a throwaway match.
yeah. This match they added the last
It,
second.
it was,
They added at the last
yeah,
second.
it was very one sided. It only lasted for like a little over 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was definitely a filler match. And that was pretty much the last match because we already talked about Adam Page beating Will Ospreay.
Yeah. So
Um,
that will lead us to Monday night. So that was the weekend. So Monday night, we had some qualifiers. We had, I believe, Liv Morgan was qualifying. She'd lost.
Thanks to Roxanne.
Thanks to Roxanne, yeah. So Liv Morgan lost. So the qualifiers Monday night, we had Seth Rollins. I believe I didn't watch at the end of it, but I believe Seth Rollins won. So, but it kicked off with a banger of a match. a banger match between Penta, Dragon Lee, and Chad Gable. There was a botch, but that was a hell of a match. I mean, Penta won because of interference.
An assist by Vikingo.
Yeah, Vikingo, who is facing Chad Gable at Worlds Collide the same day as Money in the Bank. We had the main event: Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. The War Raiders, I didn't see that one. War Raiders, New Day, and the Creed Brothers, I didn't see that. Fucking Akira. Oh, so Rusev was on last night.
New Day.
Yeah. So
New Day won that one.
Yeah. So Rusev beat up Akira Tozawa. Not a shocker.
And then a former ally of his came out to confront him. Sheamus made his return.
Sheamus made his return.
Former tag team partner. Remember the United Nations or whatever they call themselves with Rio and
League of Nations.
Yeah, it was
fucking back.
It was him.
Back when Succotash?
Del Rio.
Succotash promo by fucking Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That was back.
It was Sheamus, Rusev, Del Rio,
Barrett.
Yeah, and Wade Barrett.
So apparently Gunther interrupted Jey Uso, so we're going back to that.
Yep.
So they're going to be fighting again in Phoenix.
Which, I'm sorry, that feud needs to stop. Like, Gunther is just...
He needs to step away from the title for a little bit and come back.
Yeah.
I would have him win, if you really want to give him the title again, have him win the Rumble next year, but I have a feeling Sami Zayn's winning that Rumble because we're getting Seth versus Sami at Mania next year. I think that's the goal. Seth's winning the Money in the Bank. Seth's winning Money in the Bank. He's going to either win the Money in the Bank or he's going to find a way to get a title shot, and he's going to win that title. He's beating Jey Uso for that World Championship. But we will get into...
As he should.
We're getting into the guy I really want to win Money in the Bank, which Ryan can agree, and Thomas can agree, and Ivan can agree. Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross needs to win that Money in the Bank. It's time to give him his
And Kross we trust.
And Kross we trust. Triple H is doing a lot more with Kross outside of WWE on social media and stuff. Kind of like what Drew McIntyre was doing. I think Karrion Kross wins that Money in the Bank, and he cashes in on Cody, and he beats Cody. I think he'll beat Cody. He's not going after the World Heavyweight Championship. I think he's going for the WWE title. And Karrion Kross will hold that belt for next year, and I think we're going to have Karrion Kross versus potentially CM Punk. Karrion Kross versus CM Punk.
So far for the men's Money in the Bank, we have Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, and Seth Rollins.
Yes. So.
And on the women's side, we have Alexa Bliss, Roxanne, Julia, and Rhea.
Yeah.
So we still have a few more qualifiers for each side.
Logan Paul is going to get in that match. Somehow, some way,
Paul is
going to get in that match.
He'll get in there.
I think Damian
Priest. He's found a way to wiggle himself into a lot of these things.
He's got the tag team match with
Cody. Yeah. You know what? Now that you bring it up.
Cody's got a full double duty in that same night.
Yeah. But I do think Damian Priest will get in that match. Damian Priest will find a way to get in that Money in the Bank match. We're probably going to see Gunther in that Money in the Bank match. Maybe. I don't know. Gunther's facing Jay 2 nights after. I don't think he's going to be in that match. I wouldn't mind. So right now we have what? Karrion Kross will be that other member. Karrion Kross will be in that match, so he'll get in that. So I think the next two will be probably Damian Priest and Karrion Kross. For the women, I think it's going to be... I wouldn't be shocked if Lyra Oh, no, she's defending Money in the Bank.
No, they have the Intercontinental title match.
Not Lyra. Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green will get there. Chelsea Green's probably going to win the women's. That's my pick for the women's is Chelsea Green. I think they're going to give her the push. But
yeah,
I thought you said earlier, you thought Roxanne.
Roxanne. I said I wouldn't be shocked if Roxanne wins it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But I'm saying Chelsea Green is ultimately my pick because they've been pushing her a lot, and she's put a lot of work in the last year and a half. So Chelsea Green, it's between Green and Perez, but I think Green will get the women's Money in the Bank but it's gonna feel a lot like Carmella when Carmella won the women's Money in the Bank. So there's that. That's what happened Monday night. We also
so what if Secret Herbis is gonna go grab the briefcase for it like James Ellsworth did?
Probably. She'll have Elba fired. Go grab it. Or Matt Cardona will show up and grab it.
Oh, God.
Always ready!
I was actually listening to a Chris Van Vliet podcast with Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
He said he always every pay-per-view, he has gear ready and made just for when he gets that call.
Yeah. I think he won't show up until
He already has gear
Rumble.
ready.
I think next year's Rumble he'll finally get his shot to return. But this leads us into tonight. We have NXT tonight. We have a couple matches announced for tonight. Let me see the matches. Match card tonight. So we got Ethan Page. I think is the main event. It's Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks or Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints for.
Get it right.
Yeah.
Formerly Starks.
So we got Tatum Paxley versus Jada Parker. We got LFG Season 1 winner Jasper
I have a
Troy.
feeling that's going to be a one-sided match there.
Yeah.
Jada versus Tatum. I feel so bad for Tatum Paxley during these last few months with these releases.
Yeah.
She was in a great tag team with Gigi Dolan, Shotzi Blackheart.
And they got rid of both of them.
And they literally get ripped out from under her. They had a good thing going. And
so Jasper
and
Troy.
WWE just literally pulled the rug out from under her.
Yeah, so that's his last name, Ryan, is Troy. Jasper Troy. He is going to be making his debut tonight. Who was the woman that won LFG?
I don't remember.
Tyra May Steele.
Yeah.
Look at that. Diversity. They're both black. Look at that. Love it.
One fun fact about Tyra May is actually she's an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, she is. She was on her team. That's right here. Notable achievements: Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling. So is this going to be something like they do every year, the LFG?
Yes, but from what I've heard, Mickey James will be stepping down and Michelle McCool stepping in next year.
So it's going to be husband versus
and
wife.
I have a feeling that it's some politicking by Undertaker going on behind the scenes with that one.
So Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page
surprise.
will be the main the main event's going to be Stephanie Vaquer versus JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. What? They just announced this.
Ooh. Interesting.
I didn't even know this was happening. Okay.
I think it stemmed from something last week that happened.
Okay, so that's going to be the main event then, which obviously it's going to end with the two girls from AAA showing up. So we have Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page. Winner goes on to AAA. I don't know I don't know who they're facing. They haven't announced who they're going to be facing. They'll probably find out at the end of the match when Ricky Saints beats Ethan Page.
Oh, please God, Ricky Saints beat Ethan Page.
He's not losing the title anytime soon. And if he does, he's going straight to the main roster. So that's another guy like Ricky.
Saints or Page?
Saints.
Oh, okay.
He's not one of these guys that need time in NXT. He's been in the Indies. He was a mega star in AEW. They just didn't know how to use him. They refused to use him.
Right.
He should have been an AEW World Champion.
I still say he should have.
I just can't stand Ethan Page. So.
Yeah, Impact. Yeah, he just
like look what happened after he left Impact. Josh Alexander got rocketed to the top, became the world champion.
Oh, Page? No, we're
Ethan
talking
Page kept on floundering.
Yeah.
Ethan Page kept on floundering in AEW. He won the TNT title. Yeah. That was about it. And now he's in WWE.
Hey, he won the NXT championship.
On a fluke.
Which then Trick Williams would win it like 2 pay-per-views later. So
maybe we should all wait for AEW.
Do a better job than Tony Khan at this point.
I mean, it can't do any worse, right?
They got so many stars on that roster that needs but like I said, Cora Jade needs to go to AEW because I feel like she'll be better. She'll be able to do what she needs to do to develop there.
Just wait. June 2nd, her OnlyFans page goes online.
For $15.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's got an OnlyFans. She announced it like right after she was released from WWE.
Why the hell not?
So, with that being said, let's get into.
She's not the only one that started one after getting released. Blair Davenport did too.
Oh my God, Blair Davenport's just as hot. Wrestling news.
She's actually married to the Chase U guy.
Yeah, he got released
Riley
too.
Osborne.
No, he didn't get released. He's still.
Yeah, no, he got released. She was part of the first wave. He was part of the second wave.
Chris Warner was still.
She literally just got that call up to the main roster during the draft, and she's part of the wave of releases. Remember back during the draft?
Yeah, he was released in January. So, but.
So remember, Blair Davenport got caught up during the draft.
Yeah.
And she got released.
Oh,
literally, like a month later.
Rick Derringer, had Real American and Demolition Theme died today.
Ooh, that's not good.
Oh my God. W has considered asking fans to not swear at TV events.
Yeah, okay, good luck with that.
So, in other news, TNA has banned the throat slashing taunt that Undertaker made so famous before he did the Tombstone.
Not only that, they also banned blading and excessive blood.
Yeah. So TNA is going the PG era.
PG.
They're going straight PG, and I don't. It's stupid. It's just stupid. But is there anything else you want to talk about, Ryan?
I think that's it.
All right, I think that's it for episode 1.
We've already been at this for an hour.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's what we're gonna hold.
Yeah.
I don't like doing my podcast more than an hour. Sometimes an hour and a half. Using the caps, we go over an hour and a half because we have a lot to talk about. But I mean, that's it this week.
Yeah, the game's going to last for more than an hour.
Well, that's the live stream. We don't do the podcast. We record the episodes. We talk about like expand of games, not just the one game. It takes us like 10 minutes to review the game. But we go over prospects.
Yeah, I got to get up here. My cat's calling me back inside.
So, all right. This is all we have the time. Thank you guys for this episode 1. We're officially on. IWC World Wrestling Podcast is debuting. We'll see you guys next week for predictions for Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide. Hopefully, we'll have both belts. Ryan, you said you're going to create it the next couple of days, the $5 belt. Hopefully, the belt.
I'm going to probably start tomorrow.
Hopefully, the belt.
I just need to get enough cardboard.
Hopefully, the belt comes in a couple of days. But if not, it'll be on the line at Night of Champions, which is fine. Night of Champions is late, I think. July.
Actually, I feel like we should put them on the line because Night of Champions. That's when we should debut them.
Yeah, you know what? We should do that. I mean, because then we could also do Money in the Bank. We could do something like with Money in the Bank different, and we could have like the briefcase, and the winner of that briefcase gets the title shot. So
yeah.
All right, we'll do something like that. Cheryl, I'll tell you later when we go get pizza after this. But anyways, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Cheryl, for filling in this week.
Yep.
We will see you guys next week. Bye.